Hello friend, this is my YouTube channel IT Pro. You can watch it for a strongly foundation of information technology and promises you to give you conceptual knowledge in computer. Keep watching for latest videos. Time to time I will come with the latest video in computer.
Essential skill for graphic designer toolkit. Okay. How many of you are agreed with this? Essential skill for graphic designer toolkit. The first is visual ideation and creativity, design software, typography, print design and layout. Which is the best option to be a good creative designer? If you want to be a good designer, which point is good for you? What do you think? If this point is good to be a good designer, this point should be there to be a good designer or a creative designer, or this point is good to be a creative designer, or this one?
For me, it's all the four.
All four. Okay.
For me also, but most one is creativity.
Perfectly fine. Okay. Okay. Yes. So these all are very important to be a creative designer. But if I ask any to you, which is the very important option? If I will ask you to choose one, what option will go for? Definitely, people will go for creativity, because this is very important part to be a creative designer. If you don't have creativity, you can't
be a good designer.
Yes, you can't be a good designer. Okay, you know the tools, you know everything, but if you don't have creativity, you can't be a good designer. Okay, so the very important point is to be a creativity, and nobody can teach you the creativity. So every people have their own creativity, right? Vandana have their own creativity, Kunal have their own creativity, Mamta has their own creativity, and Sudha has their own creativity. So every person have their own creativity. If I give you one assessment to all four, you will make four different kind of assessment.
Yep.
As per your creativity. Okay, so and some people have good creativity in some terms, in some point. Some people have like good creativity in different terms. Okay, but everyone have their own creativity. Okay, so great graphic designer creates, they make original sketch based on ideas from their client and use those sketches as a foundation for what will be ultimately appear on the web or in print. Okay, so here the terms creativity, it's talking about while creating any design, what we start by doing some sketches. Okay, because we start thinking. Okay, so as per your thinking, first we need to draw our thinking to the paper. Okay, we need to present our thinking or creativity to the client on a paper. If the client will approve, then I will go to the design software and I will design this thing. Got it? So first, creativity is very important part, and while creativity, whatever you think about the product, you need to first sketch that ideas to the paper, show to your client or your manager. If once it's approved, then you start working. Then we'll go for design software. Yeah. The second point is design software. The second part, very important part, is design software. Okay. Then when this part is done, creativity is done, what we'll think, yes, this is my design, but what software will use to make this design? Because if I don't know the softwares, okay, so how can I design this? If I know only the Paint, I cannot design anything. I can think I can, but Paint is not a good software to design, to implement. Okay, so here the understanding, after that will come to the designing software. So here it's mentioned there are two designing software that most people are using, that is a Photoshop and CorelDRAW, and these two are Adobe applications. Some people are also using CorelDRAW, some people also using Paint. Those who don't know about Photoshop, Illustrator, and some other application, people are using Paint also to convey the message. Okay, but these two are very important software, Photoshop and Illustrator, to design your thinking or to design your ideas. Okay, so the design software. Next we come to the typography. This is also very important part, because without typography our design will not looks good. Okay, so typography is one of the key things top advertisement firms review in design portfolio. Because if you go to any company, they will ask you, are you do you have a knowledge of typography, what typography is? Okay, people are asking about this thing. Okay, so typography, it's nothing but it's a kind of writing a text in different style, that is called typography. Okay, typography can be a calligraphic text, can be a artistic text, can be a designing text, it can be any kind of text. Okay, let me ask one question. Have you seen the Coca-Cola text?
Yes.
Coca-Cola logo? What is that? Is that typography or what?
Yes, it is typography.
Yes, it is a typography. Have you seen the Nike logo?
Yes.
Which kind of, is that typography or not? Right.
It's a typography, but it is having a logo.
And if you go to the street, there is a red light.
Yeah.
Is that typography or what? It's kind of graphics.
I think it's a multimedia graphic.
It's a graphic.
It's a graphics.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are not graphics. Those are typography. Okay. So there are three types of typography we used. The first typography is called commercial, expert, and pi. Okay. I will explain you these three things in a typography part, because while using the typography here, it's written typography required a firms understand the font family, right? So typography basically work with font family, a different, or writing a different style of the text. So there are three types of text that we use, that is called commercial text or commercial font, second is called expert fonts, and third is called pi fonts, pi. Okay, the commercial fonts is all the small or all the light fonts, slim fonts are called commercial fonts. So you can see these are light fonts here. So these are our commercial fonts. These are. If we improve, or when we make this font bold, it becomes our expert font. So all the fonts are expert, whose are bold fonts. Are commercial, and this is expert. That's why this is bold. And expert font you always use to emphasize in any point. So commercial font, expert font, and the third font is pi font. So the pi font, the definition of pi font is all the commercial font, no, sorry, all the symbolic fonts are called pi fonts. Symbolic font. For example, arrows, left arrow, right arrow, down arrow, maybe hand sign, okay, streak sign, those all are pi font. You know about the Webbings font? Let me show you. If you go to Google and type, or you can also use Webbings, it's already installed in our PCs. This is called Webbings font. I think all of you have seen this kind of font, right?
Yeah.
So this is a part of pi fonts. Okay, these symbols we use on our street head, like roads. Those are fonts, but we treat as a graphics. But those are fonts. Okay, if
So,
you go to
sorry to interrupt. So these all come into typography or just graphic?
It's a kind of typographic graphics.
Okay.
It's a text graphics, text representation. So graphics is what? Graphics is nothing but it's a kind of representation something, or representing something.
Yeah, so graphic is also the same thing. And what is the difference between graphic and then typography?
See, can you see this this sign here, this character? Okay, if or maybe sometimes if you see some visiting card, what you will see, this kind of phone icon. Sometimes you'll see it's not there, but you'll see some kind of phone icon there. It's kind of telephone icon are there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when we use in that term where all the characters are there, that becomes our typography.
Okay.
Okay, if I'm using any graphics with the series of text or series of sequence text, that becomes our typography. If I use this, I'm talking about only this design, right? If I'm going to use this design with some text, that becomes our typography, the representation of the text.
The representation of the text become a typography.
Yes, the representation of the text, this icon, this logo with the text. Okay, because I'm treating this icon as our text, because I'm just starting with the text here. So this becomes our typographic design.
And if it is a only symbol?
Yes, if I'm going to use this with a separately, this becomes our graphics. This becomes our pictograms. So pictogram is a different kind of graphic that I already explained you in the first slide.
So if we use any symbol with the text, then it becomes a typograph.
No. Symbol is different things. If I'm going to use some text, like this is my lady character, right? If I'm going to use 14% here, 14% ladies growth, women's growth, if I'm type 14% here, so this icon becomes our typography. Whole, these three.
Yeah, got
right?
it.
But if I use this separately here in single design, this becomes our graphics.
Okay.
Because many of the graphics or many of the presentation you have seen, this kind of multiple, like 50 ladies are there, 50 designs are there.
Yeah.
And they are nothing, it's not written 50%. It's only show you the amount. So how we calculate? We calculate as a 50%, we calculate as a text there.
Okay.
You're getting my point?
So if there's an this thing rupees symbol is there, okay, and it's written 1000, okay, so it will come into a typography or it will be a graphy.
Rupee symbol is it will come as an typographic.
Okay.
It will
so anything with a graphic become a typography, right?
No. Again, you are confusing. Like if I'm going to use any typography with the text, it becomes a typographic design, typographic text. Let me go to Photoshop and show you quickly. Yeah. Ask.
Okay, so any image along with text is typography, and if it is only image, then it is a graphic.
Yes, true.
Okay,
See,
so
let me show
the
you one example here. If I'm going to see, I'm going to start with some text here. Okay, let me make it bigger. And if I'm going to choose here some fonts that is called Webdings. So I'm going to my Webdings font here, Webdings categories, and I'm going to type something, maybe this one, okay? Or I'm going to type here. So in this font, for this arrow, I have just used this arrow, and I'm going to change my font, and I'm going to use here Arial with 10%. Right? And I'm going to make it smaller. So how it will call, or maybe if I have only the arrow separately. Okay. So what is the difference between these two? This arrow I used with some percentage value. So this becomes
this
our
is typography.
And this becomes our graphics. That's why you said a traffic light is a graphics. Right?
Yeah.
Because people are using this as an separately, like this. So this becomes our. So you understood there is any confusion?
No.
Now it's clear, yeah.
Clear now?
Yep.
So be very clear about this typography, okay, where and how to use this. Okay, but one more thing also, because some people called it graphics and some people called it pictograms also. Okay, so I will explain you about the pictograms later on. Okay, what is pictograms and how to use these pictograms. Okay, now next come to the next topic, print design and layout. Okay, so here the first part we already discussed, creativity, graphic design, typography, and print design and layout. Okay, what is that? Okay, so if I just started, I think about the design, I just layouting our design, I use different text in the typographic section. What next? After creating these all things, next part we need to think about our print design. Okay, how we are going to print it now. It is going to be a digital printing or it is going to be a offset printing. Okay, so print is also very, very important for us. Digital printing or offset printing. Okay, so we'll discuss later on about our digital printing. Yeah.
What is the second one you told? Like I heard about digital
Offset
printing and
digital printing and offset printing. OFFSET, offset.
okay.
Okay, and some people called it 4-color printing also. If you work with US or UK client, they called 4-color printing, offset printing. Okay, so I will explain you these 2 points, digital printing and offset printing, and what are the differences between the printings. I will explain you later on. Okay, coming to the next slide now. Yeah.
If I pick that girl symbol which you were describing that time, okay, and I write below girl, then it is a typography, or only we use percentage signs to with the
only the numbers. Only the numbers, like 50%, 60% of girls growth, 70% of girl growth. It becomes it's kind of infographic. Typographic kind of things.
Okay.
Okay. Next, essential skill for graphic designer toolkit: print design layout and communication design layout. So these two are the toolkit: print design layout, communication design layout. So print design we have already discussed that whenever we start creating or suppose we have finished any design, we need to think which kind of printing we need to go for, either digital printing or offset printing. Some people offset print is like the ability of use the page layout program, sometimes called it desktop publishing program. Okay, I think you have heard about the DPS, digital publishing suite. Okay, some people call it DPS design or DPS printing. Okay, so you can also say our printing layout. This is also part of printing things. Okay, so now DPS is nothing but it's a like package of the software, like printing softwares. Okay, so I will explain you later on about these two terms, digital and offset printing, or digital printing also, like desktop publishing also. Next, communication. What is communication? How can you say this as in communication? Like understanding what a client wants from the design is the key to creating a successful product. It might be hard to talk to the client who don't understand limitations or right terminology. Okay, so communication is nothing but it's kind of convey your message to your audiences or to the design. Okay, I will share. Okay, so it's a kind of communication. We have already discussed about the communication in the previous slide. If you remember, while creating any design, we need to think about our target audiences. So as per the target audiences, our communication will be like that.
Thank you. Thanks for watching my videos. And if you will like this video, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon. Thank you.